Hello, we are here with the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera, recently purchased on Amazon. Very excited to record some videos with this camera. This video will specifically be about video tests, video recordings with this camera. Let's turn on the camera and show you the video settings if you're interested. We've got this very cool sound effect, which is really fascinating. So here's the camera itself. Quite a durable feel to it. Once we inserted the battery, this camera became a little bit heavier than some of the other cheap cameras I have, but I'm okay with it because it just has this nice durable feel to it. I originally thought this was going to be a touchscreen, but it's not, as you can see, but I'm totally okay with that. I do prefer the buttons, being able to control everything just with buttons and not with a touchscreen. So we're going to click left, get you to some of the video settings, and then left again. The OK button will let you select that resolution. Here's what we have. Just wanted to show you. 720p goes all the way up to 120 frames per second, but of course the top we have 4K at 25 frames per second, and my personal favorite video is saying 1080p 60 frames per second. So we're going to record 1080p 60 frames per second. But the most interesting thing, and the reason why I decided to buy this camera, in addition to the fact that I do like this company and the dust-proof design, is, click here, the anti-shake mode, otherwise known as image stabilization, EIS. Well, maybe not EIS in this case. This is, I think, optical image stabilization according to the box. So very excited to try out and see what that looks like. Really something that I think would be on a high-end camera. We're going to turn that on maybe for one of the video clips, and I will let you know. But just want to let you know that we have that feature, anti-shake mode, image stabilization. So that's it, really. We have photos settings will be for a different time. We have playback mode. So here we have, we're set to 1080p 60 frames per second. And as I said, we do have some different settings here, but we're going to record at 1080p 60 frames per second. Since that's just my favorite resolution setting, we're going to go outside and make some videos, and the videos will follow shortly. Sample videos recorded with this camera. This is a very cool sound effect again. The AEE Lyfe Magic action camera. We're going to show you some samples recorded with this camera, and you can decide for yourself if you think the video quality looks good. We're going to try some without image stabilization, and we're going to try a clip with image stabilization. This is the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera. Video test. Hello, this is another 1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second. This is the camera that we are recording with, the AEE Lyfe Magic, as you can see here. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera. .1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second. .1080p video test, 60 frames per second. AEE Lyfe Magic action camera. Hello, this is a 1080p 60 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera recently purchased on Amazon. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Magic. How well can you hear me right now? How good do you think the video quality is? The AEE Lyfe Magic. Just to show you what we are recording with. Here is the camera itself. This is the AEE Lyfe Magic. There it is. 1080p video test at 60 frames per second. .1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera. .1080p video test, 60 frames per second. .1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera. Again, this is what we are recording with. This is the camera. The AEE Lyfe Magic. .1080p video test at 60 frames per second. Hello, this is a 1080p 60 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera that you see here. 1080p video test at 60 frames per second. How well can you hear me right now? How good do you think the video quality is? We do not have image stabilization on this video test. 1080p 60 frames per second with the narrow field of view, not the wide angle view, to minimize the fisheye effect. .1080p video to 60 frames per second. Just taking a little walk. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second. .1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Magic action camera.